Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on chasing the illusion. So in today's video I'm going to be teaching another tutorial, and this tutorial is going to be very similar to one of my last tutorials called the CTI ACAN. So it's going to use a lot of the same deceptive techniques that was in that last video, but the actual trick itself is going to be completely different. So I would highly recommend watching the CTI ACAN as well as this one. And the premise of this trick is basically you ask the participant to name any playing card. So say they name the ace of spades, right? Then you lose the ace of spades in the middle of the deck. Then you get the participant to shuffle the cards. While they're shuffling the cards, you ask them to name any number between 1 and 52. So let's say they name the number 3. Then once they give you back the cards after shuffling, you tell them that you're going to try and shuffle the cards so that the ace of spades is in the 3rd position. So then you do some cool shuffles or normal shuffles, however you want to do, and then you deal the cards out, 3 cards, and the 3rd card is the ace of spades. You can probably see the similarities between the CTI ACAN and this trick itself. And what I'm going to call this trick, I think, is going to be the searching shuffle, because basically you're searching for a card while shuffling them. Well, that's the way it looks like you're doing. It's kind of a pseudo gambling technique, if you will. Also, I do apologise if there's any windy sounds going on in the background of this video, because there's currently a storm going on, and wind really doesn't like my microphone, I don't think. So, just apologise. I apologise. You won't apologise. I apologise for that. So without any further ado, let's get on with the tutorial. So before we kick off the tutorial, the cards that I'll be using today are the Dark Dystopian deck. Can you see that? Yes, you can. The Dark Dystopian deck. I'm hoping this week, storm allowing, that I can go out and film a video with this deck and maybe even do a review of it. Again, storm allowing. So, but anyway, let's get on with the tutorial. So, first of all, you ask the participant to name any playing card. They name the ace of spades. They probably won't name the ace of spades, but it's my favourite card. So let's use the ace of spades. Then you lose it in the middle of the deck, any way you like. Generally, any way you like to lose the card in the deck, and you gamblers cop it away like so. Pretty simple. I went through that quite quickly, so I'll slow it down for you. First of all, you get their chosen playing card. You lose it in the middle of the deck. I used to just do the turnover pass, so I get a little break here. I don't know if you can see that. Get a little break here. Lift it up here and then turn it over like so into this one, making sure that the card is now on top, ready for a picked up 2 cards then, it's never good, is it? Ready for a gambler's cop, like this. Another one to do is like a shift move, where you get the cards to be put in there. You show them the ace of spades here, and you kind of just out jog it this way. I'm not going to teach you how it's done because I'm not very good at it myself, but it does, again, put it at the bottom position. So you basically need to get in a position where you can gamblers cop it away like this. Pretty simple. So let's do the turnover pass, because that's the one that most people know how to do. So let's do the turnover pass. So they name any playing card. They name the ace of spades. You do the turnover pass. You lose it in the middle of the deck. Lose it in the middle of the deck when it's now on top of the deck, and then you gamblers cop it. Again, picking up 2 cards. What is going on with this? Come on. It's a new deck, to be fair. It's a new deck, but that shouldn't make any difference. Right, yeah. You gamblers cop it. This is when you pass the deck of cards over to the person you're doing the trick while the card is in a gambler's cop. So let's go through that again. Just from the top. Ace of spades is the selected playing card. You pretend to lose it in the middle of the deck while you're doing a turnover pass. When it's now on top, you get the gambler's cop, pass the deck over to the participants whilst you have it in a gambler's cop here. Obviously don't make the participant know you've got the card and the gambler's cop when you're taking it away. It's a bit obvious, really, isn't it? So then they're going away, shuffling the cards, and this is the whole point of it. Obviously, what I like to do is I pretend that I am watching them enticely, so I can kind of guess whereabouts the ace of spades is, even though obviously the ace of spades is in my hand at all times that they don't know about. So they generally think that the ace of spades is in the deck that they're shuffling. Then once they're happy with shuffling the deck, you take the cards back and you load it back to whatever position you so wish into the deck without them knowing. So now the ace of spades is back on top of the deck. You then basically tell them that you're gonna shuffle the cards into whatever position that they name. So let's go with what we said at the beginning. They named the number 3. So we've got to get the ace of spades in the third position, which we won't be doing. So basically what I like to do now is just do a load of full shuffles, or actual shuffles. You just make sure that you know exactly where the ace of spades is at all times. So again, what I usually like to do, depending on the number, so if it's a high number, I pretend I shuffle the cards for a lot longer, if that makes sense. Another little subtlety that I like to do is say that I've lost the card, I have no idea where the card is, and or that I've done it wrong, for instance. So I might go like, oh, I think I've messed it up. Then, especially when you're doing a riffle shuffle or something, just say you think you've messed it up or something, when you really haven't. It just looks like you have. So for instance, just doing this, being like, oh, I think I messed it up then. Shoot. Alright, you know what, one more won't hurt. If I've messed it up, I've messed it up. All while I have still got it in whatever position I want. Always end the shuffle, no matter what kind of shuffles you're doing, always end the shuffle with it being on top for the next stage. So just to reiterate from the top, they've named the ace of spades, you've lost the ace of spades, or seemingly lost the ace of spades in the middle of the deck. When you're just doing a turnover pass, whatever you're doing, your gamblers cop the card away, they shuffle the cards. While they're shuffling cards, they name any number, they name number 3. Whilst they give it back to you, you load the ace of spades back into the deck however which way you want. You explain that you're going to try and shuffle the cards into a certain way that means that their chosen card is in the third position, when all in all you're actually just keeping an eye where the ace of spades is at all times. A little subtlety that I like to do is changing where the chosen card is at all times. So if the ace of spades is on top, you can do some, false riffle shuffles whilst keeping the ace of spades on top of the deck, even though during that time I actually didn't do it. So it's still on top of the deck. Then you can do some false normal shuffles, making it go to the bottom of the deck. This way you can do some dealing ones when it's actually still at the bottom. This way the participant doesn't think that you're moving, like they don't never see the ace of spades, and especially if you're dealing certain cards down, and I think I've lost it now, but if you're dealing certain cards down, yeah, I have. If you're dealing certain cards down, then they don't think it's on top, they don't think it's on bottom, because you're like, Jesus Christ, so have I actually lost the ace of spades now? There it is. They don't know where it is. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? Probably not. So, for instance, when you're doing the fake riffle shuffle, they can clearly see the 2 bottom cards, the king of diamonds and the ace of clubs in this case, right? Don't know if you can see that. And then you're shuffling them down like that, whilst the ace of spades is on top. And then you're doing a shuffle that means that the ace of spades is now on the bottom. So then you can now do some dealing cards, so it makes them think that it's not on the top of the deck. Whatever you want, as long as you know where the ace of spades is. And before you start doing the dealings, make sure that the ace of spades is back on top for the next part of the trick. And the next part of the trick is, again, very similar to the CTI ACAN, where you'll be basically doing a bottom deal. So you basically bottom deal however many cards that they named. And this is quite integral to the reason why the chosen card is on top of the deck. Because you can do it if it was at the bottom of the deck, but it's not that deceptive. I guess you could do a Greek deal to make that really deceptive, but I'm again working on a Greek deal. It's not that great at the moment. So, for instance, if the Ace of Spades is at the bottom deck, which I don't recommend, you just deal out however many cards. So 3 was a bad example. If we do 7 cards, right? So you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, bottom deal the 7th card, and that'll be the Ace of Spades. But how I recommend doing it is finishing the shuffle with the chosen card on top of the deck, and then bottom dealing 7 cards. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on the 7th card you turn it over, the actual top card being the Ace of Spades, because everyone is burning you on that last card, right? Everyone is burning you, so no one's going to really be looking at the cards when you're just dealing them down the first 7. So you can, if you make any mistakes, it's completely fine, right? And again, work on your bottom deals, because someone could name 55 cards, for instance. Do you know what I mean? So work on the bottom deal, because for obvious reasons, if you're really good at a bottom deal, then you'll be absolutely perfectly fine for it. So let's just backlog before we do a little review at the end. Participant names any playing card, the Ace of Spades. Boom. You lose the Ace of Spades in the middle of the deck. You then gamble as cop the Ace of Spades, or whatever card they choose, away, letting the participants shuffle the cards. While they're shuffling cards, they name any number. They name the number 7. Then you explain to them, whilst you're loading the chosen card back into the deck, that you're going to try and shuffle the cards into the 7th position. Then you go ahead and just do some full shuffles, making sure you know exactly where the Ace of Spades is. Maybe doing some subtleties that I said earlier, like hiding where the aces are, so the audience don't think that it's at the top or the bottom of the deck. Basically as simple as that. Making sure that at the end of the shuffle, however long you want to fake shuffle, that it's on top of the deck. So once it's on top of the deck, you then bottom deal however many cards that they wanted you to deal. So say they said 7, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, the 7th card obviously is the top card, so you just turn it over. You can do it slower as well, to be fair. You can do it much slower. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because you've got nothing to hide at this point. It is the 7th card being the Ace of Spades. And that's basically the end of the trick. I hope that makes some sort of sense. If it didn't, I do apologise. Again, it does revolve around some of the same ideas for the CTI ACAN that I had. Obviously, it does get rid of the index. So if you're struggling with an index, obviously go for the searching shuffle. If you do have an index, do the CTI ACAN. It's very similar tricks. I wouldn't really call this an ACAN, a card at any number, even though it kind of is, because I always do it as a pseudo gambling technique. So the reason why I can't play cards with people is because I always know where certain cards are in the deck when people are shuffling them. That's how I play it off as, even though I'm not doing any of that at all. But that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe in a couple of weeks' time you'll be seeing a video with the Dark Dystopian deck, possibly a review on it. I won't beat around the bush. I'm already in love with this deck of cards. So, yeah, that's basically the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Like this video, comment if you want. Check out some old videos if you want to as well. Obviously, I've got my secret Snapchat, the CTISS, if you want to check that out. Check out my Instagram where I'm posting more reels and stuff lately. Obviously, I do post the same videos on YouTube, and they've been doing quite well recently. At the moment, I'm on like 900 views on one of my videos, which is actually insane. So, yeah, check out Instagram and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in magic and what's going on in the Chasing the Illusion channel. But that is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Adios.